We're currently flying along the northern coastline of Latin America. Our destination, a small group of islands 300 miles to the west of Panama City. There, these 12 strangers will be split into opposing tribes. They'll build shelter and catch their own food while encountering a hostile environment and competing in tough challenges designed to stretch them physically and mentally, perhaps to their limit. But for all that, the greatest danger they will face is each other. For one by one, they must leave, voted off by their own tribe. After 37 grueling days and nights, just 2 will remain, head-to-head in pursuit of the ultimate prize. For the winner, there is £1 million. This is Survivor. Just 48 hours ago, these 12 people sitting behind me left Britain. We're on our way to the northwest of Panama, to a group of 68 islands called Bocas del Toro. It's there that the experience of a lifetime will begin, and none of the survivors truly know what lies ahead.
Well, we'll have a look at it.
Get it! You got it!
Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bocas del Toro International Airport.
I'm Susanna, I'm 27. I'm a secondary school English teacher. I think I can come across as perhaps a little bit kind of stuck up. I hope that people's first impressions don't prejudice them against me. I'm going to miss the most important thing. He'll kill me if I don't say it. My husband. That's going to be the biggest thing that I will miss, by far.
You're really good through that.
£1 million prize means that the rules have to be strict. Consequently, unbeknown to any of you, we've already flown in 2 replacement contestants eager to stand in should any infringement take place, the smuggling of materials or objects that are not part of our permitted list. So now, ladies and gentlemen, is the moment to come forward if you've anything with you that you shouldn't have and dispose of it in this box. What have we got here? Salt? Pepper. More salt. Likes his food. Oh dear. Earplugs and some string. Is that it? What else is in there?
I'm Typhon Cadola, I'm 27 years old, I'm a competitive Latin American dancer, which is one of my great passions in life. To prepare for Survivor, I've been running all around London to get fit. I've been reading books on survival. I can be quite argumentative, probably for the sake of being argumentative. If I'm the first person to be voted off, I'll probably laugh.
Well, in an attempt at a pretty impressive smuggling operation, we have chewing gum, a penknife, matches, a compass, a lighter look, a pen, a spare pair of shorts, and numerous safety pins. Quite a collection. Right. There's now going to be a search conducted by one of our own security guards. I'm bound to say that if anything is hidden and discovered, I'm afraid that you'll be disqualified and replaced.
My name's Lee Capon, I'm 25 years old. I'm a sales manager in the motor trade. I love music. I DJ every now and again. I really enjoy doing that. I'm not the most patient person in the world at the best of times. And when I'm hungry, my patience goes even quicker. I'm not sure if I'll be able to hold my tongue. There's probably going to be people on there that have seen much more life than me, much more experience than me. And from the mental side, I think they'll probably think they can get one up on me. But we shall see.
Comrade, John Dalzell.
We supplied each of them with a backpack, boots, sandals, raincoats and a water bottle, along with malaria tablets, sunblock and mosquito repellent. They also had an identical but limited personal clothing allowance. Having cleared security, the survivors now board a truck to take them to the next part of their journey. Everyone receives an envelope, but they are not allowed to open it or speak to each other until instructed to do so. They get a brief look at the town of Bocas del Toro, where Survivor's production team is based for the duration of the shoot. While the crew will live fairly comfortably, the 12 contestants must survive on a pair of islands about 15 nautical miles from the small town of Bocas itself.
My name's Helen Kearney, I'm 22 years old, working at the Hilton Sheffield Hotel. If I won £1 million, build Mum a conservatory, build it here, so that it's all on this patio area here. Me and my sister want to live together and we want to live in that house next door, so we're going to ask her to move and we're going to try and buy that house next door.
Okay, let's make a move. You're right.
Good boy! My name's Mita Bowes, I'm 35 years old, I'm a financial planning manager. On the island, I'm hoping that I won't turn into someone that I'm not just to win that money. But if you do fall into the last 6, you're going to have to, because everyone else is going to be doing it, and if you're the nice guy, you're just going to get voted off. So if it means playing a mean game, I'll do it.
Well, we're at the end of what I know has been a very long, demanding and indeed tense journey for you all. We've got about 3 hours on this boat until we reach the final destination. So let's hop on board, take your bags with you, and remember not to open those envelopes until a little later.
My name's John Dalzell. I'm 32 years old now. I'm a barrister. Before that, I was a chartered physiotherapist, and before that, I was in the Royal Marines. I'm probably one of very few contestants who knows they can survive without food and the sort of basic amenities and luxuries of modern life. I'm very childish. I don't take anything seriously. Hopefully, I can remain childish enough to keep people's humour up. That's my main weapon.
Still to come in part 2, Typhon makes his second big mistake.
Shit, it doesn't float.
The survivors are now on the final leg of this long journey, close to the 2 islands which will be their homes for the next 37 days. Okay, everybody, gather round. Surrounding me are the absolute basics necessary for survival. There's a container of water for each tribe. There's a machete for each tribe and the wooden oars for your canoe. And there are, of course, the obligatory life jackets. Here, in this waterproof container, is a lamp, a map, vitamins, tampons and condoms, and, of course, a first aid kit. Over here, in the crate, we've got a fishing line, hooks and a net, kerosene, a spade and string. That is a can of meat. That is a can of fruit. I would urge you to think of the 2 cans as emergency rationing only. There is also enough corn, rice and oil to last you for up to 2 weeks if you use it thoughtfully. And perhaps most important of all, there's this, a pot to cook it in. The survivors are finally allowed to talk for the first time. They introduce themselves, but of course, they still don't know which tribes they're on.
Susanna.
Hi, Susanna Lee. You all right?
Yeah, fine. You?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Sound like a London boy.
Essex.
Are you?
Sorry, what's your name? Drew.
Helen.
Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm never going to remember anyone's name. I'm going up.
What brings you out here, Dave? Sorry? What brings you out here?
The challenge of the adventure. The sun.
Yeah.
It's slightly warmer than it is in the northeast.
The free.
I'm Dave Porter. I'm 55 years of age and I've just retired from the fire service after 28 years.
Things is on too smart, you know, look at him.
Get the tea on.
Down the wing, buddy, lad, go on, take it, cross it.
My biggest passion in life is Newcastle United, then the wife. But I should maybe say the wife first, but it is Newcastle United. I love that team.
Yes, Gerard, get it! Yeah!
31.
She's asked that question twice now.
How old are you? How old are you?
How old are you?
22.
Yeah, same as me.
I think everyone.
I'm 34. Are you 22?
Yeah, I'm 22.
I just got on the tube and I just kept smiling. Smiling all the time.
You smile all the time.
It's easier. Using less muscles.
Yeah, true.
Come by. My name's Bridget Griffis. I'm 43 years old. My job is shepherdess. Walk up. I can dig a latrine. I can make a shelter. I can quite easily go and catch any type of food. I don't actually know what I would do with £1 million. No, I'd like to just win the immunity challenge. I just want to win one of those challenges, really.
After 2 hours on the boat, the long day, the hot sun and the rolling sea have all taken their toll on Drew, who is clearly struggling.
My name's Brueggen, I'm 27 years old and I'm a firefighter. What I dread most is when hunger and possibly dehydration and exhaustion and lack of sleep all take over. I'm dreading that feeling of having to cope because I don't know how I will cope in that situation exactly. Well, I hope, but we'll have to see.
OK, survivors, you're about to be divided into 2 tribes of 6, one living on North Island, which is on the left, and one on South Island, which is on the right. In the envelopes that you were given back at the airport are your tribal colours. At the given signal, you have 90 seconds to put on those tribal colours and your life jackets, to clear the deck of anything that belongs to your tribe and to cut loose your canoe. Anything or anyone left on deck after 90 seconds has no further part to play in Survivor. I wish you fortune and I wish you a long stay. It's now that your adventure truly begins. Go!
Shit, it doesn't float.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm there.
In theory, it should take the tribes about an hour to row to the beaches on their respective islands, which we've marked with flags. However, the light is fading fast and both are faced with their own problems. Only 5 are fully fit to row to North Island because Drew's sickness continues. Meanwhile, South Island have loaded their canoe badly and are taking on water as a result. The tribe heading for South Island is Bridget, John, Johnny, Lee, Sarah and Susanna. North Island consists of Alistair, Dave, Drew, Helen, Mita and Typhon. North Island are first to reach their beach. However, a strong current and Drew being so sick slows them down, and they don't arrive until just after sunset.
A-team. Knackered A-team. We need something to jimmy it with.
Unable to open their crate and use the mosquito net after Typhon's mistake with the machete, North Island have no option but to sleep uncovered and out in the open.
What a day.
Never mind.
Let's get the boat in here.
After their opponents have turned in for the night, South Island finally arrive at their destination, wet, cold and in the dark.
Oh my God! How many snakes am I treading on?
However, the importance of having a machete is soon clear, and at least they do get something to eat before going to sleep.
Yeah! Oh, wow! Success! Food!
Yeah, I'm sorry for supper.
Although they might have eaten coconut and their spirits appear to be high, the seriousness of their undertaking is starting to hit home.
I've been very, very cold, and you wouldn't have thought that on a tropical island. And then a big, wet, slimy thing hit my face.
They're not funny. I think they're funny, but they're not.
As their second day dawns, the lack of a machete immediately presents problems and, unsurprisingly, causes friction on North Island.
Just hold on 1 second. This is the lid, yeah? Yeah. Trying to figure out why.
We're never going to get back into it. No.
Just use use this as a top.
Deep down, I haven't said anything, but I wasn't all that pleased. To think a machete can float in water is beyond belief, to be truthful, but it was a really bad mistake, really. But I suppose we all make mistakes, but that was a big one.
But there's very little you can actually build and do without a machete. A machete is hours of fun if you can build things, but we can't. There's nothing that we can do with that.
It's a game, and it's Survivor, and you do whatever it takes to survive. I've come on thinking, you know, I've got to not make myself look too much like a threat, and so my intention had been to make a few mistakes, look fairly incompetent in places, so people just thought, oh, he's this dancer, this isn't his thing, he's not going to cope with this at all. And I really would like to be able to say that when I threw the machete into the water and it sunk immediately, that was part of my game plan. But sadly, it wasn't. That was just plain stupidity.
The weather takes a turn for the worse, but South Island shelter is progressing well, helped by their machete.
Good news, really.
Think that's wide enough?
Yeah. What do you think, girls?
Is it going to be big enough for us and all of our stuff if it chucks it down with rain? If it does get really, really hot, are we going to want a little bit more space? But apart from that, it's wicked.
I was just wondering whether you wanted to put that thinner one that's a bit longer on top there.
I think they might be right. I think they might be a bit small. Yeah. What's it like for that?
We can sort it out here, with a lot of space up here.
Can we convert it off?
Can you make the ensuite bathroom over to the left-hand side, please?
Sauna or jacuzzi, we've got room for both.
My name is Johnny Gibb. I'm 31 years old and I'm a detective constable.
Okay, look at the corner.
When I win on Survivor, I will tell the truth about who I am and what I do. I'm not intending on making up any lies or stories to try and give me an advantage in any way. I've managed to get out and practice breaking pheasants' necks. Never done anything like that before. If I'm hungry, I'll be even keener to do it.
On North Island, the tribe is occupied with making fire and finding materials for shelter. One person in particular is taking control of the situation.
I think Alistair's quite a natural leader, and I don't think any of the groups minded much at all because it's really friendly with it. It's not like an autocratic kind of. It's really, really, you know, a friendly person.
How does this sound? Right?
Go on.
As a plan.
A-frame.
A-frame there, A-frame there. Means what you can do is, it doesn't matter the size of the poles, you can sort of cross them the way you want.
Yeah.
6 foot high, 6 metres.
Yeah.
By... Well, we need to build it bigger for me to lie down.
6 foot high?
Yeah, 6 foot.
How big's that?
I'm 6'4".
My name is Alistair Brueggen. I'm 34. I'm a managing director of a fuel oil distribution company. As a child, my passion was flying, and I joined the Air Force. I think if I won £1 million, there wouldn't be actually much I would actually change. I would certainly invest most of it in the business that I'm in just now. Saying that though, if I actually had the £1 million in my hand, who knows what I would end up doing with.
On South Island, most of the tribe continues with the business of making camp. One of them, however, is finding conditions rather harder than she had ever expected.
When we arrived last night, I couldn't believe it. It was pitch black. We obviously couldn't light a fire, we couldn't do anything, and everything was just absolutely soaking wet. I thought, oh, I'll be fine, I won't bother me, nothing bothers me. I really did think I'd be fine about it. And now I'm like, no, I'm not going camping again.
I tell you what, we do want to win them challenges because I can see one maybe weakest link in the team, but then after that, everyone's quite strong.
I was thinking that as well.
I don't know who would be, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have a... It's difficult.
Thinking, and even that one I feel a bit bad about.
But you can see where it come from.
They're all older, and they all seem to have done something like this before, and they've got all these brilliant ideas, and I really do not have a clue. I would not know how to light a fire. Someone held a gun to my head. So for me, I'm watching them and I'm trying to help, but I just feel completely helpless.
My name's Sarah, I'm 22 years old. I work on emerging markets broken desk in the city. When I'm not at work, you'll probably find me out with the girls drinking or clubbing. To prepare myself for Survivor, I've actually been on some sunbeds, trying to get a nice suntan. I don't go there and burn. I guess being the stereotypical blonde, you know, tall, blonde, slim, I guess that is going to help me on the island.
With their shelter now complete, John, Susanna and Bridget forage for food around the camp. They find more than they thought they might, but don't necessarily enjoy the taste of it.
I don't think we got that desperate yet. It's really disgusting.
It's all in the spirit of it. Who called it milk?
Did you swallow?
No, I never swallow.
So, having found nothing to eat, they return to the other problem, making fire.
The technique that we are using was my idea, so I suppose ultimately if we don't get any fire started it could well be my fault. But on the other hand, nobody's really come up with any better ideas.
Interestingly, the former commando, John, who might be expected to know about these things, is happy to leave it all to Susanna.
If you stand like...
Yep.
with the other foot where John's foot is there, and hold that there, yeah? And then you would literally go behind me. And then you can squat or do whatever you want, but pull that,
the whole thing
that
from behind.
side.
Is this legal?
We've tried glasses. Bridget's got glasses, Johnny's got glasses, and we've tried both of those. And I think both of them were really hoping that bringing their glasses along would help them light fire, but that hasn't worked either. So we're kind of a bit stuck at the moment. If this doesn't work, I don't know what we'll try.
Should we just take a couple of minutes off? A bit of coconut, a bit of water, maybe even a bit of corn or something. Have a swim.
It's powder.
Is it powder, is it?
Yeah.
Have a bit of powder.
On North Island, the long-lost machete forces Meter to improvise.
Lunch! What's today, Mum?
Coconut.
Oh, my favourite.
Who wants to drink the water?
Oh, well done.
My worst fear at the moment is not getting the fire started and not being able to eat anything, because with all these challenges and stuff coming up, we're going to need as much energy as we can get. And all we've had in the last more than 24 hours is a bit of coconut each.
Everyone's like, I want coconut.
I was going to say... Oh!
I don't like coconut, but I'm so hungry.
South Island are using their shovel for the purpose for which it was intended, digging a hole for their toilet. And then Bridget comes up with an ingenious accessory to improve comfort.
Welcome to our luxury toilet.
Marvellous.
Oh my god.
See what you mean about
Oh,
it's all roots and stuff.
Whoever fills the last one has to dig the next one, yeah?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I just make sure I don't go. Yeah, I just hold it.
In part 3, the tribes meet for their first immunity challenge.
Go, go, go! Come on!
Every 3 days, one of the tribes must vote one of its own members off their island. In order to determine which will be the first to do so, they face each other today in an immunity challenge. The winners are guaranteed survival for at least another 3 days, until the next immunity challenge, that is. The losers will be with me tomorrow night to decide who they're going to send home first. North Island haven't started the day at full strength. It's now Helen's turn to be unwell. The tribe have much on their mind.
I think the incentive is to win it, so we get a box of matches.
Yeah, or whatever, something. Food or matches.
We need matches.
Tell you what else we need. A can opener. See those tins?
Yeah, I know.
How do we open the tins?
How do we open the tins?
Can't we use a nail on one of the pieces of wood? Hammer that in and then...
Yeah. So I think someone needs to stay behind with Helen in case she gets sick. Or,
Stay behind with Helen.
do you want to do that, Typhon, or...?
I'll stick around.
Okay.
It takes a lot of pressure off everybody because someone's made the first big mistake. And what that further means is that if we lose any immunity challenges and you have to vote somebody off, well, you're going to be looking for a reason. And I've given them the perfect reason.
The first challenge is also on the minds of South Island.
Well, I hope it's physical. I know everyone feels wrecked, but I just hope it's physical because
I think we're stronger than them physically.
I think we're physically stronger than them, and I think they'll be feeling it as much as us. I haven't seen any fire last night or smoke.
Nah. Didn't see any smoke.
Alistair is really
Alistair's a big strong guy.
the main problem, and I think, what's his name? Funny name.
Typhon?
That's the one.
We can't rush in like a bull in a china shop.
Really listen to the instructions. Don't want to get...
You've got to do one thing wrong and it's completely blown.
Imagine that.
While North Island are out hunting for food, Typhon considers his threatened position and decides to confront Alistair on his return.
I was just wondering if we were to lose that first challenge, the immunity challenge, am I the one that's likely to be chosen to be kicked off?
I can't answer for other people. You've seen already, so much can happen in a day and a half. And so much can happen in a day and a half. The question you originally asked me, does it make you vulnerable?
Using the
I
machete.
think it does make you vulnerable. And don't take that as I'm saying that I'm going to vote that way, because that wouldn't be right of me to make a decision so hastily. It's got to be left until, from my perspective, especially in the first one, maybe not the third and fourth if I get that far.
Yeah.
You know, it would be naive of me to say, right, I've made my mind up, because first impression, you shouldn't judge people on first impressions.
And throwing the machete in was a bad first impression to make anyway.
Well, there's no getting away from it.
No.
That's the problem, there's no getting away from it.
Over on South Island, Lee is rallying the troops.
Right, remember guys, when we get there,
cheery.
Cheery faces.
I can do that one.
We're all having a blinding time.
I'm free up.
Double up for it. Come on in, let's have it.
In high spirits then, the tribe set off for the neighbouring island of Bastimentos, where they'll face North Island in their first immunity challenge. Welcome North Island, welcome South Island to your first immunity challenge. With immunity comes this. This is your immunity idol. Today's challenge begins here on Red Frog Beach. Red frogs are poisonous, by the way. It might be worth you knowing that. It continues on an assault course across hilly, boggy and overall extremely demanding terrain before finishing on the other side of the island on First Beach. Now, when you reach First Beach, you'll find a key. The key is to unlock the chest that you pick up on the assault course. In the chest are waterproof matches. You must use those matches to light the beacon. The lit beacon, of course, signifies immunity. Okay, survivors, take up your start positions. Are you ready, survivors? Go! After the first 200 metres, the tribes emerge from their uphill scramble through the jungle. Sarah is already suffering, big time.
Come on, Sarah! Come on, babe. Come on, Sarah. Come on. Keep going. Get it up. Oh, Sarah, come on. Come on, darling, get him up. Get him up, it stinks. Go. Come on, Sean, come on. Come on.
There's a chest waiting for each tribe at the top of this treacherous hill, and John and Typhon have gone ahead to release the ropes holding them. Now the chests have been untied, they must pass the ropes down so they can be pulled along the zip wire to the opposite platform.
Come on, Sarah. Can't breathe.
Do you can?
Drew has been chosen to pull the chest for North Island and Sarah for South.
Sarah, just let it go. Let go. Let it go.
The other 5 members of the tribe have to complete the obstacle course before teaming up to lower that chest to the ground. Well done. Every stage of the course must be completed by all those 5 members, however long it takes and however tired and confused it makes them. The chests, weighing around 250 pounds each, then have to be released before being carried to the finish.
You're doing well, girls. Over here, hey, back. Over this. Back.
I can't run with it.
That's all right. Come on, go! Come on! Go!
South Island have sent Sarah on ahead, apparently to wait with the key.
It's done. Hands on. Everybody hands on.
Well, congratulations, everybody. That was a fantastic challenge, and clearly both of you had thought it out from a strategic point of view very, very carefully. It was really neck and neck. There was so little in it, and in the end, it was South Island who came past the post. It was a lovely moment when John lit the beacon there. However, and this is an appalling moment for you to take, I'm afraid that one of your team, after a long struggle with the beam with the triangles on it, failed to go over the final hurdle before the chest, and I'm afraid that was Susanna. Therefore, you're disqualified, South Island, and the winners of the idol have the idol. South Island returned to camp with their morale shaken. Not only did they lose the challenge, but in so doing, they gave up the contents of the chest, an axe, and waterproof matches.
The worst thing about the whole thing is knowing that I am completely responsible for the tribe not winning immunity and for us doing without things like fire. And I know the other guys are looking at the fire across the other island and feeling pretty damn awful about it.
The other thing that is a little bit positive is how poorly we thought they operated as a tribe. Yeah. Really, they had no cohesion, no cooperation. At one point, one of their girls was under a net and they all left her.
I think we've gelled together much more as a tribe than they have. That's came across. Obviously, we've gelled much closer than they have.
Tomorrow is not going to be very nice. I thought this was going to be easy, but it's not. No, it's not.
On North Island, the tribe used the matches they won to light a fire, giving them hot food for the first time in 3 days.
That was a huge relief for me, a massive relief. It was a hard day today, but we managed to win the immunity. How are we doing?
Bloody boiling already.
Excellent. Oh, I can't wait.
That earlier hunt for food had turned up something to eat it on.
It was such a good find, us getting these plates. It was so civilised, isn't it?
Still to come in part 4, Susanna's mistake forces her to safeguard her position.
Alliances are interesting.
The North Island tribe spend a relaxing day knowing they won't have to vote anyone off. And they use that axe to hunt for food.
Took them alive.
How did you get those?
I just found all crustaceans.
Where did you find them?
That one's going to be good for food.
You are joking.
Can you cook them if they're concussed?
Look at that claw. That's going to be delicious.
Looks delicious. It's bloody hot, isn't it? Mm.
Yeah. Suck out the claws. You can eat all the legs, and in the middle bit there should be meat, but don't eat the gooey bits. Oh.
What gooey gets?
You know the brown bits. Don't eat those.
What, inside?
All that shit. Yeah.
Really? I thought that was the meat.
No, that's the shit. You can actually eat those. Those are they're called fingers.
That looks like it's.
That actually is the waste.
That's the waste. It's not its excrement.
It's sack, but.
On South Island, the impending vote means that one or two are starting to look after themselves by suggesting an alliance. Susanna feels especially vulnerable, having lost the challenge for her tribe.
Sorry, I messed it up. That's the thing. Done the salt course. Oh, let the whole tribe down. Never mind.
Alliances are interesting. There was a horrible, horrible moment this morning when Bridget said, it's just so wonderful being in this tribe because there aren't any alliances. And I and Johnny and John and Lee all felt awful. The fact is that at the moment there are two, and I'm sort of involved in both, which is particularly awkward.
Well, I prefer it if it was you, me and Susanna.
Yeah.
Went on a three of us tried to stick together.
I had a word with Susanna this morning though. She's been approached by Lee, right. And I think she's having sort of, well, she's having difficulties because she doesn't want to let Lee down. It's difficult once you've been asked.
Yeah.
And then if you're asked the second time, it's kind of difficult to let the first person down if you've already said yes, you know. Try and have a word with Susanna today then and try and firm it up. Yeah. I think maybe give her the rest of the day, and then it might be easier at night to get her away from
something.
Because at night you can just sort of usher her away from everyone, you know, quietly, rather than trying to.
Yeah.
The two Johns seem to be forming quite a close friendship, partnership. They're very tight together. So I thought it might be an idea if I spoke to Susanna.
Johnny and John and I very much want to go through. And I did, well, Lee and I had a tentative agreement that we would also perhaps try and stick together. However, the odds are better in Johnny and John in my favour, and also I just get on with them better. We just seem to have a real kind of link. I don't know whether he's, you know, John's a lawyer, Johnny's a policeman, I'm a teacher. We're all professionals of a certain level and we've just got an awful lot more in common. So I'm going to have to at some point do the dirty on Lee.
This is Tribal Council, where the survivors decide their own fate. Every 3 days from now, the tribe who lost the previous day's immunity challenge will row here at sunset and face an even greater challenge, the survival of each other. One by one, they will walk along this platform and each cast a vote against the person they believe should leave the islands and forego £1 million. This, then, is the witching hour. The tribe must pack all their belongings because they can never be certain who will return. Then they set off for a neighbouring island in search of the lit beacon to attend their first tribal council. Welcome, South Island, to your first tribal council. Now, please light your torches that represent life on the island, place them in the stand behind you, and then go ahead to take your seat at council. You're here tonight because you lost yesterday's immunity challenge, and I'm afraid that there is a price to pay for that failure. Before the vote, however, we're just going to spend a little time looking back at the last 4 days, your first 4 days here on the islands, and in particular the extraordinary climax to the assault course challenge. John, you lit the beacon and there was elation writ large all over your face, and then you had it snatched from you. How did you feel?
Pretty foolish is how I felt. I'd made a mental note not to get wrapped up in the euphoria of the finish of the assault course before I knew what the final result was. So when the result came, I was disappointed and I felt stupid for getting wrapped up in the whole dancing in the surf, hugging, kissing and giving each other high fives.
Susanna, it was a desperate moment for you. Have you had the impression after your mistake that anybody in the tribe has blamed you?
I have been immensely surprised and motivated and charmed by the fact that everybody has said to me immediately afterwards, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, these things happen. So
did you believe them?
I'd like to, yes.
Lee, have you picked out any alliances that might have formed amongst you?
No, not really. I think that's why we're such a strong team. We're not going off in our own directions, or we haven't got our own agendas. We're gelling as one strong, was 6, soon to be 5 team, which is why we're stronger than North.
All right, well, now is the time for the vote. You do so at the end of that platform. Please write clearly one name on the piece of paper, the name of the person that you feel can play no further part of your life here as a tribe. Hold the piece of paper up and explain your decision, and don't worry, you're quite well out to sea, so none of us can hear you. Bridget, if you'd like to go first.
I am voting for Sarah. She is missing her mum and she's had enough.
I'm voting for you, John. You're a fantastic bloke, but it had to be someone.
Thank you. I'll now go to collect the votes. Sarah. Sarah. John. Sarah. Sarah. And I have a suspicion, South Island, you know where you're heading. Sarah. That is 5 votes for Sarah, and it's 1 vote for John. Sarah, please bring your torch to me here. The flame represents your life here on the islands, and the tribe has spoken. So now please extinguish the flame.
Good luck, all of you.
To the rest of you, you have survived your first tribal council. Congratulations. The £1 million is still on. Do now collect your torches and make your way back to your island. You have fire, which will allow light, warmth, and the cooking of food. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Starting shortly on ITV2, more from the first 4 days on the islands in Survivor Raw. Here on ITV1 at 11:05 after the news, hear what Sarah had to say immediately after she was voted off her tribe.
I will never, ever take anything family-wise, my home, ever for granted ever again.
Next time on Survivor, divisions appear on North Island.
He's a funny man, he's a bloody funny.
While South Island's mistakes continue.
I think it's ridiculous. And that's at the same time, 9:45.